excuse me, sir? Girl, what do y'all have? Like, he kept emphasizing the girl. Yes, I'm a short person, but no, my name is right here, and you're going to respect me.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we are back with another American reaction. We're super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit the red subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because we're on the road to 50K. And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal?
There's so many, but I'm going to give you the top that really pissed me off. The first one is the fact that you can't put your parents, your grandparents, or your siblings on your health insurance. So if you have a great job with great insurance and your siblings are young or something's wrong or your parents something, you can't put them on. They'd rather you go to the government, get assistance, get Medi-Cal, Medicare, take other people's tax money instead of you paying for them out of your pocket. The second thing is that in America, 18 is considered an adult, right? Mm-hmm. But they still use your parents' income to determine if you're able to pay for college. The third one that I think is...
Hold on, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I did not like that at all. Because I'm like, I can't get grants and all this other stuff that my friends get to get because I'm still on my parents' insurance.
Right.
But it changed once you have a child or if you get married.
So getting married, having a child will make you your own adult. Then so it's kind of like saying that you're adult. Then after doing that,
right. So I had to put that out there.
Mind blowing is that we have to pay for water.
That's everywhere.
That's
everywhere.
Okay, I know I look kind of gross. Sorry, I just woke up. But this is something I've actually heard someone talk about on TikTok before. Like, they've addressed it. But when you go into debt and your debt gets sent to a debt collector, they buy your debt for however much it costs. And then they make money by charging you more money because they bought your debt. So you're only entitled to pay what you actually owe, and sometimes even less than that. Like, I've done research on it and it's true. So if you're being chased after by a debt collector, you need to ask them how much they bought your debt for and then just pay that. You do not have to pay any of the interest because that is not money that you had. You don't have to pay that.
Okay, quick tip. I don't pay the debt collectors. I go back to the original person that I owe and pay them.
I even had one time a debt collector called me. He was threatening me and everything, talking about I'm gonna need a lawyer and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, click.
For something I didn't even know I didn't pay.
Right, like seriously, like, and then they buy it out, and then once they do so, then they start getting mad at you for not paying them, and it's just like it's too much.
Right.
It's too much.
Because they made it up. Like, I'm being serious. Look it up. It's crazy.
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal?
Not having kettles. I can't believe that the vast majority of Americans don't use kettles. They heat up water on the stove. They microwave water. What is that about? Like, look at this that I saw on Twitter. A fucking godsend, sis. Oh my god, mine is so cute and rose gold. Got it from Target like a year ago. Plus it shuts off once it boils, so I don't burn shit, El Mayo. I get so tired of warming water on the stove like my ancestors. Tip if you hadn't thought of it already, boil the kettle for cooking as well. For example, if you're making pasta, instead of bringing the water to boil on the stove, boil it in the kettle, then pour it into the pot so you don't have to wait.
I was gonna make him. You know what's gonna make him even more mad?
What?
And we set a fire up in the backyard, and then we put the pot out there, and then we boiled the water out there. We put beans in it and stuff, and then we use that water. Yeah, like.
Talk about for a cookout.
No, I'm just saying in general. That's what it sounds like. It's like cabin days. Like
nah, we have kettles. They're
right.
just. I guess the younger generations don't use kettles. I mean, some people prefer kettles on a stove. Some people prefer electric kettles.
Some people prefer bonfire kettles.
Yeah. Why are we boiling the water outside? Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember movies like when they would go outside and then they'll have these like...
you talking about like camps?
Yeah, like camps. Like they would get their pots and they would fire and they would just heat it up and they get hot water that way.
Yeah, it's camp living.
It's options to this stuff.
Yeah,
It's not that it's one way. It's options.
It's, again, my favorite word, preference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, come on. I get that it's a British thing in culture to make tea, but surely everyone could just use a fucking kettle. Like, grow up?
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is not?
Betta fish are a scam.
Oh.
Betta fish need at least 3 gallons, if not 5 to 10, of tank space, not the tiny little bowls that they sell marketed to betta fish. They're also tropical, so they need a heater, and they're carnivores, so they need to eat meat. The reason why they sell them to you in those tiny little cups and they give you those flakes with plant matter and stuff in them is because betta fish are pretty. So even when they're sick, they're still going to be pretty. And guess what? They're going to die faster. And what happens when your fish dies? You go back and you buy more. Here's an example of a minimal tank set up for a betta fish. It's 3 gallons. It's got some planks for him to hang out on. It's got a heater. That's it. They also need clean water, not water filled with their own pee and poop. So being in a tank like this, or like this, or like this, it's like being trapped in a see-through porta potty.
Where do you find these
What's
fish at
something
anyway?
that's clearly a
PetSmart?
scam, but Americans
Besides
have been
PetSmart.
conditioned
That tipped workers make less
Walmart?
than minimum wage. Like much of America's history, tipping has a racist legacy, so let's talk about how we got
it's
here.
crazy,
Tipping
right?
showed up in America after the Civil War because wealthy Americans who were vacationing in Europe wanted to seem sophisticated. But America in general actually hated the concept of tipping. They thought of it as classist and condescending. They disliked it so much that that dislike actually spread to Europe, and as a result, Europe doesn't customarily tip anymore. They pay their servers minimum wages. Why isn't it that way in America? Because slavery had just ended, and in the hospitality sector, employers didn't want to pay former slaves, so they let them work just off of tips with no wages. When restaurant owners finally figured out how much they had to gain from this, they lobbied really hard and made sure that when the 1938 Fair Labor and Standards Act was introduced, it excluded tipped workers from a minimum wage. More in part 2. Part 2 of tipped workers' wages in America. It wasn't until 1966 that advocates were even able to accomplish a base pay for tipped workers, and even then it was a sub-minimum wage. The current federal minimum wage for tipped workers is $2.13 an hour. It hasn't been changed in 25 years. The idea is that if your tips don't add up to minimum wage, that the employer is supposed to make up for that. But the Department of Labor did a compliance sweep from 2010 to 2012 and found that 84% of restaurants had violated those laws. Further complicating this issue is the fact that there's not a consensus among servers whether or not this would be a good thing to get rid of tips, because there are a lot of servers who make good money, but the numbers don't lie. Tipped workers experience poverty at a much higher rate than non-tipped workers, and I'm sure you're not going to be surprised by hearing this. Women and people of color typically make less in tips than do their white male counterparts, so we have to start asking ourselves whether or not this system is working for everybody. More in part 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So
part 3.
she is coming. She mentioned it twice about colored people. I just find it.
Colored?
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2022. We black.
Africans.
We black.
Africans.
We
Yeah.
black.
She said Africans at first, and then she said colored. Right. So it's kind of the same thing. But I just find it funny how, and I think it's suspicious that everything has something to do with resulting back to African American people.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the history behind it, which she kind of went into. But at the same time, we have discussed tips on this channel so many times. So my question is to the waitresses and waiters and, you know, restaurant staff who accept below minimum wage when, you know, they sign on at a job. Why, with knowing that, you know, you have these certain rules that you have to follow in your pay, and you're basically getting paid off of tips, why do you accept those jobs? Because for me, when my dad told me how, you know, restaurant wait staff get paid, I was like, that's not the job for me. I'd rather go work at a fast food restaurant.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah, for
So, when he told me about that, that's when I was like, that's not it. So, I would like to know why still, you know, get hired.
Yeah.
Go look for that type of employment. Why?
Yeah, some people just eat gross.
Picking up
Some
their
people just
food,
eat gross, like when you waitering and you have to buff the tables and all that, and you just realize like, yo, Where's the tip? They said they was supposed to leave. There it is under the napkin next to the rice they love too. Like it's just work in the kitchen.
I couldn't pick up nobody else's plate.
I have fun working in the kitchen. I like to see myself actually making the food look 10 times more delicious so they can enjoy it than having to go back out there and clean up after a grown man or woman.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do it after they finished eating.
But the jobs you worked at, those restaurant jobs, you didn't get paid how waiters get paid. And even the waiters at those jobs you was working at, they were not getting paid minimum wage. Well, they were getting paid minimum wage, but not below minimum wage like waiters are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they was getting paid. The lowest would be minimum wage because of it was fast food. So
just tip the cook. I'm in the kitchen. I'm not in the kitchen literally, but I'm just saying, not no more. Back in the day, yeah, like just tip the cook, like because the people in the kitchen do 10 times as much as people that come on the floor and give you that generosity for you to feel like you're having such the greatest meal in the world, right? So when you finish and you be like, man, this was very delicious. You're looking at the person who actually served you, but you're not looking at the person who actually cooked it, and then that's who actually I feel needs a tip as well.
But don't at the end of the night, don't y'all know we speak Louisiana culture, but at the end of the night, waiters in restaurants have to share tips, right?
Not all of them. Some people are stingy.
Some restaurants.
Some people are stingy.
Okay, they stingy.
They put it in there and they keep it going. They be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, because remember this one time, when it was, I think it was like maybe our anniversary or something, and we wanted to tip somebody $100, and it was like, but I gotta share it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
So
there's an option. Sometimes they do it, sometimes policy, but I don't think it's policy. I really don't. I think they take it in unless it's in a tip jar or at the counter.
Right.
That's the one they split.
That's the one they have to split.
Which be dimes and nickels anyway, but.
Part 3 of tipped workers' wages in America. So let's talk about restaurants. If you've watched parts 1 and 2, then you know now why you're paying the server's bills, right? But did you know that you're also paying for other employees? There's a thing called tip share. Now, I can't really provide a source for this because so many restaurants do it differently, but in my experience, what I had to do was print out my sales for the end of the night, and based on what my sales were, I paid 3% of it in tip share. And that tip share went to hosts, bussers, bartenders, etc. Here's the kicker, though. If you don't get tipped, you still owe that tip share. So when somebody tips you on a $100 check, you pay $3 out of your own pocket to serve them. I understand that there's people that say,
I've never heard of that.
Was she listening to our conversation that we was going to have in the future about this?
Obviously, because I've never been ran down like that before. Out of my pocket?
No, because you are working at like smaller chains, but like Charlie's or Chili's or you know those bigger restaurants, they have to tip share.
Nah.
If they didn't do a good job, then I shouldn't have to tip them. But please take these factors into consideration. There could be 100 reasons why the service was bad, and not all of them are the server's fault. Right. We could be the very best servers on the planet, and some people just still won't tip us. Yep. And unless they committed some kind of heinous act, does anybody deserve to pay out of pocket to do their job? Part 4 of tipped workers' wages in America. If you watch parts 1 through 3, you figured out that the biggest beneficiaries of the system are the businesses themselves. Customers should not be required to pay damn near the entirety of service salaries, and servers should not be dependent on individuals who are under no obligation to tip them. And all of this in addition to the fact that serving can be an incredibly demeaning job. There's something about the title of server that brings out the worst in some people. I have cleaned up the vomit of a grown-ass woman. I have been sexually harassed. I have been cursed out over a hamburger. I've dug through trash multiple times for retainers and wedding rings. I have been reduced to tears at least a dozen times during my 8 years of serving. We're also expected to do all of that and receive that treatment with a good attitude and a smile on our face. For those who say you chose that job, if you don't like it, you should just leave. Restaurant workers make up 9% of the workforce. It's not like you can just all quit in one day. So I hope we do make those much needed changes in time. But until then, please be kind to your server and tip.
What's something that's clearly
okay?
Woo!
She went in at the end. Look, we trying to bring out these conversations, and we love to talk, and even outside of this. Outside of YouTube, we host readers lounges. I'm out there. We have a publishing company together. We host readers lounges across the states, and we have tough conversations about a lot. So I don't feel like I'm in a position to lobby for, for waiters changing these policies.
Yeah.
But now that I know, like, I don't know a lot about hospitality industry, but why are y'all allowing this? Nothing has been changed in 25 years. And
I think personally, if you got somebody that you're serving and they're being rude to you, you don't have to serve them no more.
Oh, definitely.
They can leave.
That's why I couldn't be a waiter.
They can leave. Because, first of all, how can you be so bold to be mean to the person that's handing you food? Right. First of all, you know what people's people's food? Worse than that. People's minds are sick.
Oh, for real. What about that time when that girl was, I forgot. Man. I can't say it.
Now, you can't say too much on the net now, but listen, whenever you serving someone's food, be good to that person. Unless that person literally shows you some type, then you ask for another waiter. Then, and if the waiter is feeling like you're being rude, then the waiter really has the initiative to say, hey, I'm not going to no longer serve you. You can speak to the manager about your attitude towards the business and myself, because at that point you're working for the business, and if you're not satisfied with the customer, then you also complain about the business.
All right. I remember this time. Y'all know I used to work at Panera. I didn't handle any of the food, but I was a cashier. And I remember this time. It was early in the morning. Panera opens up super early, and I was waiting on the next person in line, and he came. The guy came up to the register and he was like, okay, girl, what do you have on your menu that I should have?
What did
I have a nameplate right here. I said, excuse me, sir?
Oh, and they were proudly at Panera.
Yes.
What is that? Nice and bold right there.
I said, excuse me, sir? Girl, what do y'all have? Like, he kept emphasizing the girl. Yes, I'm a short person, but no, my name is right here and you're going to respect me. So I said, you can go over there to her register. She'll take care of you.
Facts.
Cause I'm not.
With a smile.
Nah. You give respect to get respect. Okay, like don't just girl. And this is Louisiana, so y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. I'm born and raised Louisiana. I know my people, and the people who don't like me.
That's true.
Okay.
Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal.
College. Yeah, I said it. But y'all not ready for that conversation.
I hear you.
Okay, let me tell y'all why. For one, college does not teach you how to make money. College teaches you how to get a job. You pay thousands of dollars every year. What do they give you in return? A piece of paper. A piece of paper pretty much stating that you know the bare minimum to enter this field and get a job. Here's the funny part. A job isn't even guaranteed. You'd be surprised on how many people graduate college and don't even get a job in the field that they majored in. And it's crazy to me, right? Because people will literally not invest in themselves. They won't put in like $500 to learn how to make 6 figures plus. I mean, who wouldn't do that? But will pay $60K a year, maybe more, for college. That doesn't even guarantee.
Battery low.
But it's a loan with interest. Well, let me tell y'all something. I'm 19 and I have never stepped foot in college. And my bag is long.
Come with me on this Twitter thread. What's up?
Okay. The beginning of the conversation, I'm like, okay, I agree. But I can't fully agree with him. I can't. And this is from a person who has 2 degrees. I can't fully agree with him because college is what you make it. You put in what you want to get out. Yes, we have all of these ridiculous student loans and all this debt that we get ourselves in just to get a job to pay back this stuff, this money. But it's what you make out of it. I had a great college experience. Yeah. You got to search for those opportunities. Your advisor works for you. Your college works for you.
They will help you get a job.
Exactly. There's resources available. You can't just go to school and get your grade and just get your diploma and that's it. You got to go for the college experience.
Facts.
That's why I suggest every person who wants to go to college, spend the first year on your college campus to learn your college, to learn the resources that's available, to shake some hands, get familiar with all of your teachers. And even after, if you choose to move off campus, I'm sorry, I'm just passionate about this stuff. But even after you move off campus, always go up to the school and be familiar with your administrators and your advisors and your teachers. They're there to help you be successful.
I think the scam is that high school don't really prepare you for college.
Yeah, he was speaking more on high school type stuff.
Because when I got to college, I had to really figure out everything all over again. It's like walking into a whole new world. And I'm like, yo, where does the counselor office? Where my building at?
Yeah.
Where I'm supposed to go get my books? How much I'm supposed to be paying for this? Where I'm supposed to go get this money from? Where the food at? It's like, you got all these stuff you're focusing on. You got to get to class at a certain time. Then you instruct, your professor is going to probably be a jerk. You feel me? And so you got to know, like they don't prepare you for these type of conversations.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, I feel that once you start to come out of high school, they got to let you know the real ins and out of college, because they throw you to the wolves.
Yeah, college is college.
College is different. And you can be successful once you really understand how it's ran. You know what I'm saying? You can be successful once you understand how it's ran. So I think that's that.
Yeah, college is what you make it. You know, if you're gonna be spending, I can't remember the full numbers of how I was spending each semester, but I know it was thousands of dollars. You know, and of course the government did help me. Especially after I became a mom and became a wife, I did get money where I was able to not only take care of my books, but I was able to pay my rent. I was able to, you know, buy food. I was able to buy my books. Like, college take care of you. It really do. And it does prepare you for the real world if you want it to. But do I believe that everybody needs to go to college to be successful? No.
Nah, I don't believe that either.
Something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal. Filing taxes. Other countries just send you a bill. U.S. uses human error to prey on poor people and let rich people game the system. Advertising for prescription drugs. Rarely taking vacations. Supersized portions. Flying flags everywhere. Going into debt over the cost of college. Bankruptcy due to health care costs. Credit scores, filing your own taxes, cops in schools, militarized police, guns in general, no maternity, paternity leave, and PB&Js. Strapping 17-year-old kids with no credit 50 to 100K in loans to pay for degrees in which doesn't guarantee a job or career. Insurance deductibles. It's basically saying you paid monthly for this product you may not ever need, but if you ever actually do need it, you're going to have to pay more just because. Credit scores. Nothing's real. It's all made up. Do what you want. It's all made up.
Do what you want.
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans...
VPN companies are the biggest scam in America. They are so prevalent right now, and yet there has been no use for them whatsoever. Most people don't even understand why they need one in the first place. See, most people think this is what's happening when you connect to a VPN. You're blocking your traffic from your ISP before you go to the website. What actually happens is this. You're delegating your trust to your VPN instead of your ISP. All that happens when you're using a VPN is that you're hiding your IP address and it encrypts its traffic within its tunnels. The second one, completely worthless. Literally everything is encrypted in traffic right now with HTTPS. Your Wi-Fi signal is encrypted too. There's nothing that a VPN adds. And also, if you are doing any illegal shit on a VPN, take that device and chuck it as far as you can down the Hudson right now. All of them will hand over your information to the government without questions asked. You need to educate yourself immediately right now if you want to swipe with that shit.
What's the most inappropriate thing a therapist...
What he doing online?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we kind of covered everything that they shared.
I'm trying to think of something else that can be a scam that I've never...
Credit scores. I mean, that's the main thing for me.
I think one for me was going to say for the young men and women who got out of jail, they have no real access to work.
Oh my God, they mess them up.
That's the biggest scam that I know of as
they mess them up. They really do.
Because why do you rip them of all their rights because of one mistake or one false bust that a cop has made? You know what I'm saying? Once your name is in the system, it's like the system don't allow you to do anything else.
Exactly, and they gotta work 10 times harder just to have a regular life.
Or to get their name cleared.
Yeah, like
which takes even more years.
What about the people who get off on probation or parole and they have to find a relative's address to give to the people? What if they don't talk to their family and they don't have a relative's address?
Facts.
Then what? Then y'all gonna make them stay? Like...
Yeah, that's the only thing that I had to mention.
Our criminal system... Our laws just need to be... I believe every single law just needs to be updated for the present time that we're in. We have so many outdated laws to where it just doesn't make sense for us in the current time that we're in, you know? And especially since some laws are getting reversed, it's like, it's scary time. It is. But I feel like if there is something that affects you directly, you need to speak up. You need to reach out to your state representatives, lobby some people together who are in your same boat to change these laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it for this video, guys. We hope you all enjoyed it. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks. If you would like to support the channel that way, it is the heart with the $ in it, and you know, just create a little message and all that good stuff. It's right underneath this video. And we have enabled our join feature if you would like to become a VIP member of the channel. All right, we'll see you soon. Peace.